Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet on GrindCityMedia.com. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. Welcome to The Odds Couple. It is week 21 of the program this football season. Welcome to the show. We got a lot to get to today, including the national championship, which is now in the rearview mirror along with the rest of the college football season. Although that means the odds are out for next season, for the college football season. We will tell you about that. Also, it's the first weekend, wild card weekend in the Shield. We will talk National Football League on the show coming up a little bit later on as well. Lance Taylor's going to join us. We'll get his thoughts on the action coming up this weekend in the National Football League. And then, of course, we will conclude the show with picks.
Picks!
Picks coming up on the show a little bit later on as well. I'm Rob Fisher. Thanks for being with us here on The Odds Couple. Lang Whitaker is alongside. Congratulations, go Dogs.
How about them dogs?
How about them dogs?
Oh, dogs. Sick 'em. What a week.
What a week, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome. Man.
Someone asked me the other night about what I was doing watching, knowing that I'm kind of I'm an
you're a
honorary
Georgia
dog fan.
You are.
And I was like, and I don't know about you, but I was watching the game almost just in. You told me you were pacing.
Yeah.
I was laying.
Fourth quarter.
I was laying on the couch.
Yeah.
But I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And I never, because my wife walked by and she's like, I mean, Georgia's winning. You don't look that excited. I was like, it's not over. Yeah. It's not over.
No.
It's not over. And I kept looking and I was like, boy, I want to tweet something. I want to say something about the dogs. And I was like, I can't. I got to wait. And then the pick six.
Yeah.
And like Stetson Bennett, I didn't cry.
I got off the couch.
But
Yeah.
I finally was like, wow, this is actually happening.
Yeah,
Dogs are going to be champions.
I was on the couch for most of the game, and I had basically talked myself out of the thought of Georgia winning that game in the weeks leading up to it.
Right.
I thought there's no way we do this. And when the game started, Bennett was terrible. Like the first drive, he comes out, fumbles, recovers it, gets a delayed game.
Right.
They go 3 and out, 4 and out, whatever. And I'm like, all right, like this is not good. And then we only get 6 points in the first half. Well, we can talk more about the game in a minute. But I was nervous. I thought there's no way we were going to win the thing. The pick six, yeah. That was when I got up off the couch, and my wife was asleep. My son had already gone to sleep because it was late by that point. So when that happened, I silently stood up and danced in a little circle in the man cave and pumped my fist a bunch of times and didn't say a word, but jumped up and down and,
It didn't feel right. It didn't feel real until then.
It was very weird. Somebody tweeted at me and was like, was this different than the Braves winning the World Series? Or which felt better? And I said, like the baseball one's a little different because you have like such a lead up to it and there's series involved, right? Like, so like you go into that, whatever it was, game 6 when the Braves won it, like you already know at that point that if we win tonight, it's over. But they'd already won 3 games. Like, this is just one and done. So you got one shot at it.
Yeah.
And it felt a lot different. It felt more surprising. And I don't know, just the end of that game was so interesting and fun and incredible and shocking. And lots of words come to mind. I'm sad to see Nick Saban go out that way, though.
He was
John Roser, everybody.
he was genuinely happy for Kirby Smart.
He was.
He was. Like, he was really happy for him after that game.
And then he went into the locker room and scolded everybody.
Oh, I'm sure.
Did you see the meme where Saban telling all the guys, I need those keys to those Camaros and Challengers on my desk by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Hey, Georgia spends more money on recruiting than Alabama
That's right.
does.
And look what happened.
No, I didn't get to see a ton of the game. I had hustle, so I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see really until I saw the very end of the third quarter. I saw the end of the third quarter, and then I saw the fourth.
Honestly, you didn't miss much because the first 3 quarters it was just all field goals.
And once it went, once Bryce Young threw the pick six, I flipped it off. And I didn't know what he was doing. I don't know which receiver he was. He had a receiver underneath, the receiver over, and he just threw it dead in the middle. So I was like, all right, well.
Yeah.
So, but congratulations to Georgia.
Yeah. Good to see you, Roser. CJ, how are you, sir?
I am well. Congratulations to the Bulldogs, Lane. That game was so weird. Alabama, Stetson Bennett was shook. Let's first and foremost state that That first quarter, the first half of the second quarter, he was shaky. And we've seen Alabama play against teams whose quarterbacks are off to slow starts. And what do? They jump on you, right? You don't get a chance to get your rhythm. Hats off to that Georgia defense. Alabama in the first half got into the red zone 3 times. It was 3 field goals. I talked to Lane that Tuesday about it. Like, is this from a position group standpoint, this Georgia defense, how special are they? Are they amongst the best position groups all time as far as that BCS college football playoff era? And I think they are. Lane brought up, and I went and found the graphic after talking to you, Lane, because I was super curious. They are 4th since like 97 as far as opponents' points per game. They're behind the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, and all of them dudes got drafted, right? They're behind the 2011 Alabama team. That defense had a bunch of dudes get drafted. I think all of them got drafted too, and they were behind the 97 Michigan Wolverines defense, and they had a daggum Heisman Trophy winner on the squad, right? If you're mentioning that type of company, you are absolutely amongst the best position groups all time. I would have loved if we can do this. I don't know. We're putting people in space for crying out loud. We've got the metaverse going on now. Like, can we find a way to get this defense, just this defense, against like the LSU offense of 2019 or against Vince Young's offense of 05 or Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, and the USC Trojans of 2004? Can we find a way to make that happen? I would pay good money to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, when the college football video game comes out, you'll be able to.
Or Alabama's offense from last year.
Yeah.
Or Bama's from last year, right? Like that's how good this defense is, or was. The season's over now. I think they're elite, man, like all-time greats.
Yeah, Georgia pulled it off. They win the national championship, knocking off the Alabama Crimson Tide. Afterwards, Kirby Smart, head coach of the Dolphins. First of all, it was the first time. I kept waiting as soon as the game was over, from the moment the game ended to the moment they were on the podium. And I even texted a friend of ours, Jason Wallace, who's a Gators fan, so he didn't care.
Well, he was
angry.
I got a lot of angry texts from him also.
And I was like, how about them dogs? He was like, screw the dogs.
Yeah.
But
what kind of name is Kirby? What kind of
Kirby's a video game.
I said your coach's name Billy.
I was wondering if Kirby would ever put the hat on. Because he's a visor guy.
He's a visor guy.
And he never did. He never put the championship hat on. He had it in his hand, but he never put it on.
N'Kobe Dean put on the Alabama championship.
A couple of Georgia guys found the box of Alabama hats that were stuck under the stand somewhere.
Wrong box.
Put them on. They're just to like troll them a little bit.
But afterwards, Kirby Smart, yes. Oh, hold on. We'll get to this in a second. But he was fired up, and it was the first time that I ever heard Kirby actually say, "Go Dogs."
Yeah.
And he said it with the "Go Dogs." And it was priceless. You could tell how excited he was.
He also gave and I think people miss it, a shout out to Larry Munson, who was the Georgia announcer forever, when he said there's going to be some property destroyed tonight in Indiana, because that was an old line from the Georgia-Florida game years ago when he said St. Simon's is going to have some property
There's going to be some property destroyed tonight.
Yeah.
I also want to say shout out to Rackham Willie.
Who's that?
You never looked at Rackham Willie, Athens, Georgia. YouTube him.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rack Bar.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about. Rackham Willie.
Shout out Rackham Willie.
Yeah, he's in Athens, Georgia. Hangs outside the Wendy's there. I think it's a Wendy's.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's more than one Wendy's in Athens.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's a Wendy's near campus, right next to campus. It's a Wendy's next to campus, I guess.
It's a little bit bigger of a town than you might think.
Yeah. Shout out to Widespread Panic, too.
Let's hear from Kirby Smart, head coach of the Dogs, following the win.
Well, I would open with a lot of respect for the Alabama football team, the Alabama football program. I have immense amount of respect for them, and they fought and battled and lost, one of their best players in the game, and continue to battle. And a lot of respect for Coach Saban, and he was very complimentary after the game. But just Dog Nation showing up here, the tremendous belief in this program of our fan base. I mean, everywhere we went in Indianapolis, we saw our people. Somebody told me it would be 60-40. It felt like 70-30. And I just hope they remember this feeling and understand that they don't need to get spoiled. They need to stay hungry like these players, and just so proud of our players. And somebody told me, you're not playing for the 41 years that we haven't won a national title. You're playing for the men in the room. And that really touched me, because that's what it was all about, was those guys in the room.
Them dog people. According to Fanatics, they sold more merchandise in the first 2 days after the championship than any program in history. Last year, Alabama had the record, but it was after a 30-day sale of merchandise. Okay. Georgia broke that record in 2 days. Dog people are fired up, man.
I actually waited. I haven't ordered any of the stuff yet because I wanted to wait and see, because the first batch of stuff that comes out after your team wins the title is always kind of just thrown together.
Yeah, it's not great stuff.
Yeah, there's just some dude.
They have a spot for a patch.
Right.
It's either Alabama or
Georgia.
Who
wins, and they throw it on there and start printing shirts. So I was actually waiting. I wanted to wait a couple weeks and see what kind of cool stuff comes out or stuff that has a meme attached to it. But what he said about playing for the guys in the room, when he got the interception there at the end, the pick six by Keely Ringo, when he caught it, for some reason, the first thing I thought of was he was number 5, and I was like, that's Garrison Hurst, And I thought about a lot of the old players who played at Georgia, who I've been watching for 40 years, that never won a title. And I was thinking about all these different guys. Matt Stafford's playing this weekend, and
David Pollock, who's on the field,
all those guys
during that game.
So many different players who have come and gone through the years who didn't win the title, and I thought, well, you don't win the title without those guys. That's how you get to this point. And I get it, you're playing for the guys in the room, great. But Kirby Smart is one of them. You know, all these guys who played for Georgia who got you to this point, that's how you get to this point. What happens from here, I don't know, but I'm just trying to enjoy this point.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Afterwards, Nick Saban talking about what went wrong for the Tide.
Everything.
Extremely proud of this group, our team, for what they were able to accomplish, this year, the adversity that they overcame. They're really a great bunch of winners. They won going away this year. They came from behind and won. They won close games to have the opportunity to play in this game. And I just feel really poorly that we didn't finish the game better than we did in the fourth quarter, because we played a heck of a game against a heck of a team. For the first 3 quarters of the game, congratulate Georgia for the job that they did. But nobody can take the SEC championship away from this team, the Cotton Bowl championship, and I'm extremely proud of everything that this team had to overcome to get to this position, to have an opportunity to win the national championship. We just didn't finish the way we needed to finish.
And it seemed like after the game, that was kind of the main takeaway. Alabama fans certainly were disappointed.
Yeah.
But boy, they've been there, they've had their share,
and
everything's been fine. Yeah, right. Whereas Georgia fans, it was like, finally, and we knocked them off. I mean, there has to be no better feeling for the dog people to realize who they beat in that national championship game. They knocked him off.
I thought, when Alabama ran out on the field to start the game, I thought Nick Saban looked old. I mean, I know he's 70 years old, but he looked like he was struggling to get out there. He looked like one of the Golden Girls running out there, and I was like sorry.
Which Golden Girl? Be specific. Let's put that image in there. Blanche Rose, Dorothy.
Not the grandmother.
Sophia?
No. Not
Sophia, so
maybe
he wasn't
Blanche.
that old.
I mean, he still had a little pluck to him, but
like Blanche,
but he had his hair is a little frosted and kind of I don't know. I thought Saban looks old, and I wonder how much longer he'll do this.
I don't know when they win the national championship next year. You won't be asking that.
Yeah.
What was different this game? Why didn't Alabama? Why couldn't they move the ball?
We talked about it for weeks.
You talked about it right after the SEC championship game.
Blitz more than 4 guys during this game, and they brought pressure. And to their credit, there was a lot of plays where they brought only 4, and they still got pressure on him. They didn't let him get outside the pocket, really. You didn't see any scrambles downfield from Bryce Young, but Georgia did a really good job bringing pressure, making Bryce Young throw under pressure. They hit him a lot, and I just thought defensively they were at a different level than they were in that SEC championship game to me.
Bryce is great when he has time.
Yeah.
And we saw that in the first matchup against Georgia. We saw that against Auburn some also, where when there's no time, he doesn't read the field quick enough, right? There were a couple of times dudes are open, crossing patterns, sitting in the middle of the field, deep balls. They're open. He just feels the pressure and loses his sense of composure. In Georgia, like Lang said, they were getting pressure with 4 dudes sometimes. They did a really good job of bothering them in the pocket.
And then there's Stetson Bennett, who proved all you people wrong.
I would say Lang's going to hate this. I would say if Jamison Williams plays 4 quarters and John Mechie's there, Alabama wins the game. Those red zone trips.
Maybe just Williams.
The red zones are touchdowns. I thought Alabama, they got loose on a couple plays. And I think if those are Williams and Mechie, they're taken to the house.
Well, they got loose on a couple of plays where they didn't make the catch either.
Yes, they did. They did. And I think the lack of chemistry with those guys, with those receivers, it may not come into play against a team like Cincinnati. It does come into play when you're playing.
I would also just say this is an Alabama team that's had, a top 3 recruiting class 10 years in a row. You're telling me they only got one wide receiver?
I'm telling you, John Mechie and Jamison Williams are
one
the
of them went to Ohio State. They didn't even recruit the guy.
They're both 1,000-yard receivers that he has chemistry with.
Well, I guess all the other guys just suck.
I didn't say
oh no, they'll be great next year.
I didn't say they sucked.
I don't understand. Why couldn't they move the ball without their best wide receiver? I mean, one player shouldn't make that much of a difference.
Why can't you move the ball without your best wide? Is that a question? What?
Shouldn't make that much of a difference. You got the Heisman Trophy winner. You got the Heisman Trophy winner.
Why couldn't the Minnesota Vikings throw the ball deep without Randy Moss?
I thought there were a couple of huge plays that Alabama tried that were 50-50 balls that the receivers did not come down with. Whereas
the Harris kid missed a couple
Mechie or Williamson, I think maybe you do. Maybe you do come down with it.
So.
Maybe not, but I think you have a better chance. And
that's all I've been saying. Michigan was without Ronnie Bell against Georgia. He went out early in the year with a knee injury. If we had Ronnie Bell, we would have beat Georgia also, is all I'm saying.
Well, that's just crazy.
Look, Georgia was without 2 of their defenders, too. Maybe we would have beat Alabama in the SEC championship game.
That's right.
Who cares?
Stetson Bennett. Some wanted Stetson Bennett removed, even during the national championship game.
I wanted him removed at halftime.
What a story, though, for the Georgia quarterback. Here he is after knocking off the Tide.
I mean, I just knew there was going to be no way we were going to let a turnover like that stop us from winning the national championship. There's no way. I wasn't going to let that happen. I wasn't going to be the reason we lost time.
After that turnover, you went 3 for 3 on the next drive. How did you get your mind turned quickly to that?
I had to. Otherwise, we were going to lose because they were up. They capitalized on that, and I was like, well, I gotta fix this.
So many times they tried to recruit over you. You thought about leaving, but you stuck around. Why?
Because I love this place. I love this team. I believe in myself. I think I'm the best quarterback. And, I just love everything about this place, and I want to win a national championship here.
There you go, Stetson Bennett.
The funniest part was every single question he got after that game was prefaced with, well, first of all, we all know how terrible you were.
In other words,
it was like, you sucked in high school. You were not good here.
They wanted other people over you.
You were awful, but you won a title.
Yeah.
But that's how remarkable this story is. And for those of you who don't follow Saturday Down South on Instagram and Twitter, you're missing out. Even if you're not an SEC fan, that's a great college football follow.
Website.
And a website.
Yeah.
Check it out. According to them, 15 different quarterbacks have won a national championship since 2005. 7 of them have been 5 stars. 4 of them are 4 and 3 stars. 11 of them ended up being first-round picks. 4 total number 1 draft picks, right? The lowest-ranked quarterback before Stetson Bennett won was 18th in that recruiting class. The lowest player overall, 511th. That's overall on the field on that team is 511th. Stetson Bennett IV is a 2-star walk-on. Quarterback rank 104th. Overall rank 2,569th. Those dudes do not lead you to a championship usually.
Seems high.
Really high.
I don't know. The way that game started, they couldn't score. They couldn't move the ball. They were going 3 and out. Got a couple field goals. Then the second half starts. Georgia gets the ball to start the second half, come out, 3 and out right away. Or they actually got 1 first down, then they ran 4 plays. Punted it again. They get an interception inside the 50. They end up punting the ball again. I was like, can we stop this? Can we have give somebody else a try, something? And then the next drive, he comes out, immediately goes right down the field, like 4 straight. Actually, they had the drive where James Cook busted like a 60-yard run. Right. They had a drive where they just ran it all the way down. Then the next drive, he comes down and he just passed like 4 straight plays, and they get all the way down the field. That's all it took was he got hot for 3 possessions, and that was all you needed.
I know the feeling. We will talk about the NFL later, but I know the feeling.
Remember how...
What do we do with... I don't... Take the quarterback out. Oh, my God. Now the quarterback is freaking awesome. What is happening here? The guy's throwing dimes left and right. Guy just freaking takes us 89 yards in a minute without timeouts. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Remember how wild it is how wild it was Jacob Coker won a national championship with Alabama? He was the 511th ranked quarterback in that class. And Stetson is 2,569th.
Yeah.
Well, the weird part is like Coker, there's other guys, Mac Jones and some.
Mac Jones, Cardale Jones was 398. McElroy was 348.
A bunch of those guys that were considered like game managers, right? Like they're good. They're like the Trent Dilfer of college. They can just they hike the ball. They don't turn it over. They make good plays, all that stuff. They move the ball down the field. They find open guys. Bennett was never really a game manager though. Like every time they talk about it, he can run. He can get outside the pocket. He can make plays. Like you don't see a guy who's the 2,000th best player who's not just kind of there to not make mistakes. Like Bennett could make plays, and he made plays. The crazy part is he's got another year of eligibility left. So as soon as the game ended, my best friend Matt and I always text about Georgia, and Matt went to Georgia also, and we were on the JT Daniels train all year waiting for him to get a chance. He never got. As soon as the game ended, Matt texts me. He goes, "Bennett is now welcome back next season."
And what's JT Daniels' situation?
He could transfer, but
it's going to Ole Miss
because of because there's something about the time that he transferred to Georgia. He can't transfer until I think like April or May or something like that.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, maybe.
That's got Ole Miss written all over
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Unless they get somebody else. Who else would?
How can you not beat out the 104th ranked quarterback though? Like, do you not just stay and try that out?
The other someone else pointed out like the Florida game when we,
or is Kirby just too loyal?
No, but the Florida game when we blew out Florida, like that was the chance where JT should have got a shot to like just see what he can do, give him a couple possessions, and he didn't get a chance. So I don't know if he was hurt, because he was the starter at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like he was too loyal. Like he was the starter at the beginning of the year, and then he got hurt, and Stetson just never gave it up. So I thought all year he was too loyal. I thought it in the SEC championship game. I thought it in the national championship game. But now I think that can't be that. Because like why would you be so loyal to that guy?
Yeah.
Of all the players.
Right. Well, college football is going to be a lot of shake-up next season as you look at the odds to win the championship in 2022-23. The number one team on the list is Alabama at plus 325, followed by Georgia at plus 350, followed by Ohio State at plus 700, and then Clemson plus 1,200, Michigan plus 1,200, then Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Texas, USC, Utah, and Wisconsin. Those are your favorites, which seem to be the same teams again for next year.
I would say, Alabama would have to be number one if Bryce Young's back, Will Anderson's back, although apparently they can only use these two specific wide receivers. So if those guys aren't 100% healthy, I guess they're going to be screwed.
Yeah.
Well, Mechie's a senior, so he should be gone. I think Mechie's gone.
That's all
and
right.
I don't know about Jamison Williams.
They'll have other guys. Yeah. They'll be fine.
Well, they get a whole off season, learn everything.
I'll just go ahead and let you know right now. Come July, when SEC Media Days roll around and we have the discussion of Alabama just lost too much, we've had that discussion every year for the last decade. Every single summer. They've lost too many coaches. They've lost too many players. Yeah. There's no way they can come back and do what they've done. And every single year they do. So, Alabama should be at the top.
Because they recruit so well. Right now.
Do they?
That's what I hear, Roser. That's what I hear, Roser. They're great at finding football players to get on the football field to run the football plays and win the football game.
That's
right.
What
I hear.
That's exactly right.
And as of right now, and it's the same every single year, as far as teams with multiple top 50 recruits go, remember, early signing period has already taken place. So this is just early commits. Alabama leads the way. They're one of 10 programs out there with multiple top 50 recruits. The other ones, Georgia, Texas A&M, USC, Ohio State, North Carolina, Penn State, LSU, Clemson, and then you got FCS Jackson State in there as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is remarkable when you think about how, and they do it year in, year out. That's why, to Lane's point, hell, I know you've got more 5-star receivers on the field. Somebody needs to be able to catch a damn football.
No, only Jameson Williams. He's the only one who can catch.
And John Mechie.
And Mechie.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we will talk more about it with Lance Taylor, Lance Taylor, and we'll talk NFL playoffs with him as well, and we'll shift gears and talk a little Shield. This is the Odds Couple, Week 21. Keep it here on Grind City Media.
WynnBET, the official sportsbook partner of the Memphis Grizzlies, is Tennessee's premier digital sports betting app. They're bringing you the action of real money sports betting right in the palm of your hand with some of the best odds in the game. From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, they have what you need to win. Sign up today and use the promo code GRIZZ400, GRIZZ 400, and after placing your first $5 wager, you'll receive $400 to bet with. There's no better way to enjoy basketball than with some extra winnings in your pocket to use for all your favorite bets. And be sure to check out the WynnBET Lounge at FedEx Forum the next time you're around to catch the Grizzlies. Betting is a team sport. Join the WynnBET team and bet with the best. Must be physically located in Tennessee and 21 years of age or older to participate. If you or someone you know needs assistance with a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Grizz fans, the official Grizzlies mobile app is your key to the game. It's an all-in-one experience updated with even more functionality. You can keep track of a team with news, social media, the schedule, stats, and the standings. And you can log into Grind City Media to watch and listen live to streaming content like The Chris Vernon Show and Rise and Grind. You can check out Grind City Media articles, videos, podcasts, and GCM talent. See what's going on right here at FedEx Forum with our concert and event calendar. Plus, you can find detailed information on seating and concessions with arena maps. You can take the app into FedEx Forum as your mobile wallet, use it as your ticket to the game for Grizz Den mobile pickup, and as contact-free payment for arena concessions. The official Grizzlies mobile app, your key to the game.
HBCU Huddle with me, CJ Hurt, and Mike Wallace has all of your HBCU football, sports, and culture needs covered. We discuss the hottest stories weekly across the black college sports landscape, including the SWAC, MEAC, Tennessee State, Lane, Lemoyne-Owen, and all the black colleges in between. New episodes drop every Thursday, and you can stay connected with the latest stories and discussions about your favorite HBCU by going to grindcitymedia.com, selecting the podcast folder, and clicking on the HBCU Huddle tab. HBCU Huddle is a spot for all your black college sports and culture needs.
Welcome back to grindcitymedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum. Now, here's more of the Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker, presented by WynnBET.
Hey, don't miss the 20th annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration game presented by Ford and your Mid-South Ford dealers on Monday, January the 17th, when the Grizzlies host the Chicago Bulls at 2:30 p.m. Tune in on Bally Sports Southeast or come to the game and arrive early at 1 p.m. for the annual Earl Lloyd Sports Legacy Symposium presented by the Hyde Family Foundation, featuring this year's recipients of the National Civil Rights Museum Sports Legacy Award. Limited tickets are still available. Call 901-888-HOOP or visit Grizzlies.com today. Welcome back, everyone, to the Odds Couple as we talk a little college football, putting a wrap on the college football season and getting ready for the NFL playoffs. But the national title hero was Stetson Bennett. Yeah.
The fourth.
Yeah, that's right. Stetson Bennett, the fourth. Afterwards, here is Stetson. Before he started smoking on cigars and drinking everything in sight, here's what he had to say about the win.
I knew that once I fumbled the ball, I was not going to be the reason we lost this game. And, Coach Monk dialed up awesome play action. He'd been running the ball a lot. And I think we went, 3 straight play action and then one deep ball. Then we got him to jump off sides because they've been timing up the snap a lot. But it's the thing that Coach Smart and the whole team has been preaching the whole year: resiliency, toughness, composure, connection. And I knew that those guys beside me had my back, and I had their back too.
Yes, he did, and he is a national champion. Unbelievable scene for the Georgia Bulldogs. Joining us right now here on the program, he is the co-host of Next Round Live, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. weekdays. Also, he's on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor, and you can get his picks daily at lanceslock.com. Lance Taylor joins us here on the phone. Hello, Lance.
Hey, fellas. What a game Monday night. What a game.
What'd you think going in, and did it surprise you, or did it play out like you thought it might?
Okay, so Rob, I mean, you've known me long enough, and I've got a service that we'll promote here in a little bit. But we win some, we lose some. Going back to the SEC championship, I remember I was on my drive to Atlanta when I joined you guys, and I said I really felt Alabama would come out, play with a chip on their shoulder. Alabama's never in those situations, getting 6.5 points. Everybody in the national media felt like Georgia was going to win that game. I thought it was a great spot for Alabama. This was the complete opposite. With Bama kind of dominating that first matchup, I just felt Georgia had something to prove. I thought the loss of Mechie was going to be huge, which it ended up being. I didn't think Bama's offensive line would hold up, which ultimately it didn't. They gave up 4 sacks. They couldn't run the football. So I said Monday on the show before the game that Georgia would win the game by 14. It was a lot closer than the final score indicated. But Georgia ended up winning by 15, and this is kind of the way I expected it to play out. I thought defenses would play well, had the under the 51. I didn't think Stetson could play as bad as he did until the fourth quarter, and they could still find a way to win, but they did.
Yeah. We were just talking during the break about the Heisman odds for next season, and JT Daniels is third on that list. Is that at Georgia?
Yeah, that shocks me. I said Tuesday after the show, I don't know how Stetson Bennett doesn't come back because I don't know what his options are.
Right.
Outside of, running for some political office or running an all-state agency in Atlanta. NFL doesn't seem to be an option for him. And if you're Kirby Smart, how do you not start him? But at the same time, if you're Kirby Smart, you don't want to run off another Justin Fields, another 5-star in that room. But JT Daniels isn't that guy. He couldn't beat out Stetson Bennett. So that blows me away. Let me guess. I haven't seen these yet. I would say Bryce is probably your favorite.
Yes.
C.J. Stroud would be 2.
Yep.
I actually would put Will Anderson at number 3 coming back for Alabama.
I actually thought about that too. I mean, he was so dominant in the title game, and he's coming back. So
yeah,
I don't think Young's going to win back-to-back. I would think if anybody, you give it to Anderson.
Yeah, and what are the chances they give it to 3 Alabama? I mean, there's so much
Pretty
Alabama fatigue to begin with. And, are they really going to go Devontae Smith, Bryce Young, and then another Alabama player? It'd be hard to do.
Right. Yeah. Would you ever lay anything this early on next season? The odds are out already for next season, and it's the usual suspects. I mean, is there anything you'd be like, well, I'll give that team a shot today?
No, and I've always said this about college football. I mean, how often do you really see a wire-to-wire national champion, go undefeated? And so I just think the value – if Alabama would have won this, imagine what you could have gotten Alabama after they lost to Texas A&M. Again, Georgia, instead of, I think at one point they were, minus 300 to win the national championship. After they lost to Alabama, they were plus 125. So, I just think you can get better odds if you wait and sit on that team. Whatever that team is going into next year. If it's Ohio State, try to wait on that one loss in the regular season and then pop them. I just don't think you get any value with some of these teams unless you believe a Utah, which I like a lot next year. I don't think Utah's going to be able to go wire to wire, get to their first ever college football playoff, and then win 2 games. But if you've got some kind of long shot at 40, 50, 60 to 1, maybe you take a flyer on that. But outside of that, one of these typical favorites that are always in the mix, I wouldn't play them early.
NFL playoffs get underway this week, wild card weekend. And wild card weekend, it feels like the last couple of years you've had weekends where one day it's all dogs, the next day it's all favorites, or one weekend it might be all dogs. I look at these games, and the NFL's hard because I think the public certainly loves the home team normally, and the home team normally is the favorite at this time of year. But you got to be aware of this time of year, and I imagine it's not going to go chalk, and it never seems to go chalk. And that's scary come NFL playoff time.
I agree.
Man, you said, look, you got him silenced.
Yeah.
Look at you, Fish.
Did we lose you, Lance? We lost Lance.
We lost Lance.
Yeah, we lost Lance.
But we've seen that in the past, and I start going down these games, and I'm like, yeah, the favorite, yeah, the favorite, yeah, the favorite, yeah, the favorite. And it's like, well, that's not how it's going to end up.
But it feels like it is, doesn't
right,
it?
It does. I know.
I was sitting there my picks, and I was like, I don't think I want to ride with any of these underdogs in these games. Like, which one? And some of these are such like big lines this week that you're like, no, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't. We got.
Roser was pretty mad that I picked the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're
who are the favorites?
Now you're foreshadowing.
Right.
No, it's that y'all both did. Y'all are both pricks. Like I didn't want to pick any of these games. That was the one game. I sent y'all 5 picks, and the one game I left out was the 49ers Cowboys.
But I get
and then you two pricks send both with Cowboys -3. I'm like, y'all are just jerks.
But you can't pick them like the same way. Like I didn't want to bet the Georgia-Alabama game. Like that's your team, and you're biased, and you know that's going to affect your bet. So like I didn't want to. I didn't want to bet the Georgia-Alabama game.
I think the Cowboys should beat the 49ers by double. I think they should beat us by double digits.
However, for what it's worth, we had a Grizzlies game last Sunday in the middle of the day. I got home, and it was right before the Sunday night football game was the Eagles and the.
Hello?
We got you back.
Hey, I don't know what happened. I
No worries.
have no idea. Bad
Technology.
signal, but anyway, I'll pick up. These 6 games are like virtually impossible, at least right now. I think I heard Roser say that he thinks Dallas is going to beat San Fran by double digits.
Yep.
You know, when I initially saw that matchup, you know, I was hoping, Roser, that my Rams would keep your 49ers out of the playoffs. I'm still not over that.
Kyle Shanahan just owned Sean McVay.
Oh my God, it's insane. You know, and the Rams realistically, after a 17-point lead at home, should be hosting New Orleans this week, and instead they've got a Monday night game, which is brutal against Arizona. San Francisco is such a physical team. I just have a feeling Dallas beats them. I don't know why. I'd love to see San Fran win and somehow have to go to Green Bay and, you know, one of those two, you know, eliminate each other before the Rams would have to play one, because there's no way the Rams could beat both. But I don't know, man. These are tough matchups. And, Rob, I heard you say a lot of people like to play the home teams. I'm not sure that's going to be the case this weekend.
No, well, here's the thing with San Francisco and Dallas. Dallas Niners is the best game of the weekend because some of these other wins are division matchups. Rams Cardinals, we've seen it twice already. Yeah. Like Bills Patriots, we've seen it twice already. Does anybody care about watching the Raiders as gutsy as they've been, and they've won 4 overtime games this year? Does anybody?
No.
But we wanted to see something like Justin Herbert against Burrow. We wanted to see that. Or you know, and then we could have gotten Raiders-Chiefs, which is also another division matchup. So, like 49ers-Cowboys, you have 2 blue blood, massive brands in the NFL. The Cowboys are the biggest brand in the league. 49ers have got to be a top 5 brand.
Those are loves brands.
So, it's a massive game. So it has to be the most important game. No, I think Dallas has the talent to win the Super Bowl. I don't think San Francisco does. I think Dallas has the talent to win. And the other thing is Dallas turns you over, and we're not as good as we were 2 years ago. We turned the ball over a couple times, and we're screwed. Like, we can be totally screwed.
Yeah, this weekend the only game I feel great about, and I don't even know against the number, is Kansas City. You know, I mean, it's such a massive number at 12.5, and they completely dominated Pittsburgh earlier this season. That's probably the way I would lean early on. The money's split in almost all of these games. Outside of that, I do like Dallas. It's ticked up to 3.5. But the Bengals laying almost a touchdown. You know, as you said, the Raiders have been so gutsy. The weather's going to be awful. Burrow's first playoff game. You know, I can't feel I'm extra confident going to the window with the Bengals right now. Bills-Patriots is going to be awful weather. I mean, these are tough games.
Yeah. And the problem is, though, it's the playoffs. We have to play them. Yeah. We have to bet them. Right. It's the playoffs.
And then Rams-Cardinals, it's awesome. It's a Monday night. But it is also like the Rams-Cardinals is like, all right, are either one of these quarterbacks like really good? Do we know? Like, I've been Rob is wearing a freaking Arizona Cardinals
shirt.
You
got that right. Go Cardinals.
The Fraudnals is what I call them because I think they've been frauds all season. And Fraudler Murray, I think, is a fraud of a quarterback too.
Sounds like one of the Muppets.
No, I'm on my Skip Bayless when it comes to him.
Fraudless Kingsbury.
I think the Rams will win.
Yeah, but the thing that sucks, Roser, is the Cardinals don't lose on the road. I'd love to be playing in Arizona. They're 8-1 on the road.
Yeah. That's fair.
But I do think, DeAndre Hopkins being out, I mean, they were 1-4 down the stretch. I mean, I don't trust Stafford. He was unbelievable in the first half against San Francisco, but he was so bad in the second half. But I sure as hell don't trust Kyler, and I'm right there with you. These play like elite quarterbacks at times, and then they play completely awful at times.
Well, that's the NFL, isn't it? I mean, a team like the Cardinals, we wonder if they're any good. And then they go to Dallas and look like they are the best team in the NFC.
Yeah.
And then the next week they don't. I mean, that's the NFL, and that's what makes the first week of the season, the last week of the season, and then the playoffs so difficult to play.
The biggest difference between the National Football League and the collegiate football 1A, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how they say it. Somewhere Mark Schlereth loved what you said, Fish.
Thank
He's
you.
like, it is the National Football League.
Yes, that's right. Respect the shield. Respect
Yes.
the shield. But it makes this first week of the playoffs tough because momentum is weird because the last week of the season you don't really carry a lot of momentum in. And then just whatever can happen. I mean, teams just show up looking like different teams week in and week out.
Right, but, I mean, do you carry bad losses in? I mean, again, that game, and not to continue to harp on, Rams, but that game was so important to Rams and Arizona, and both teams are favored. And, Arizona was back and forth, but the Rams had a 17-point home lead. I just don't know how much confidence they've got now.
Yeah.
So, I do agree with you. The Raiders' momentum, I don't think it really means much. The Bengals had momentum. Roser talks about we've seen a lot of these matchups before. I mean, I think we've seen every matchup this year except for Raiders, Bengals, and San Fran and Dallas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Lance, come this weekend, you guys will have plays up on lanceslock.com.
We will. We will grind it out. We will find a way to get winners for you. lanceslock.com. Again, it's $90 a month. It's $3 a day. We had side and total with Georgia and the under this past Monday night, so we will win for you. Jump on board.
Sounds great, man. That's lanceslock.com. Just $90 a month, $3 a day, and you get picks every single day. Lance, always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for your time. We'll chat again next week when we get deeper into this postseason.
Sounds great. See you guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Lance Taylor joining us from Birmingham, co-host of Next Round Live, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. weekdays, and he's on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Y'all brought it up with Lance. A lot of icky weather for some of these games as we get this snowstorm
You gonna
coming
take a
through.
Viagra to watch it?
That's my question. That's my question. How you keeping warm, Lane? You gonna take some Viagra, get the blood flowing, man?
Why do you have to take Viagra?
I'll ask Bart
Apparently
Scott
Bart
because
Scott-
that's what he wants to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Today, it gets your blood flowing, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you.
Could also
I've
just
never
rub
needed.
your hands together. I mean, that might get the blood going.
Take the Viagra and rub some stuff together. Let's get it going. That'll warm you up.
I've never needed Viagra to stay
Or
warm.
I remember a long time ago. This is back when Dave Matthews Band was really popular. If I'm showing my age here, they were playing. They played a show at the old RFK Stadium in D.C. and it was apparently super freezing. And he told everybody in the crowd to just, if you don't have gloves, just put your hands in your pants. Just go ahead, put your ladies.
It's a heat source.
Guys, just put your hands in your pants.
Hands in the pants.
Hands in the pants.
All right.
We're supposed to get snow here this weekend.
That's right. Hands in the pants.
We'll see how that goes.
Maybe that's the title of today's show, Hands in the Pants.
Hands in the pants. Can we do Hands in the pants? Hands in the pants. So, yeah, I'm going to tease this next one. Or are we going to do the audio?
Yeah, let's do this first. NFC playoff action this weekend. San Francisco 49ers. Roser's 49ers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Jawan Jennings, wide receiver of the 49ers, he talked to the media after clinching a playoff spot this past weekend.
You guys clinch a playoff berth with this win.
Yes, sir!
What does that mean to this team?
It means everything, like I said. We're not done. We got another week of football, and for us and this team, it just means we got to go back to work, man. There's nothing else we'd rather do than play football next Sunday, next Saturday, Friday, Monday, Thursday. It don't matter. Can't wait.
Sounded like CJ a little bit.
It did.
He's excited. I'm excited. Let us be excited, baby.
By the way, shout out to Jawan Jennings, who was an absolute stud at Tennessee. He's been one of the only good things that Tennessee football has had the last decade. And he was a 7th-round pick, and he battled injuries last year, but so he didn't get to play a lot. But yeah, he's been really big.
I got a 49ers nugget I saw earlier today.
Oh, here we go.
When Jimmy Garoppolo does not throw an interception, the 49ers are 7-0 this season.
Okay. All right.
We are 8-1 when we have fewer than 2 turnovers.
right.
8-1. When we have 2 or more, we are horrible, and Dallas turns. Dallas has forced multiple turnovers in 12 of their 17
Are we
games.
just sharing nuggets?
Sure. You got one?
Miami Dolphins are undefeated against quarterbacks whose last names have an O in them.
Yeah, how about that?
On the season, 9-0, 0-8 if you don't have an O in your last name. 0-8. So that means the Dolphins could get in the playoffs right now and be better than half of the teams in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, just because the quarterback doesn't have an O.
Just because you're playing
They
Garoppolo
better-
or Prescott or Roethlisberger or Mahomes.
They
or
better not
Burrow.
play the Raiders. They
No,
better not
that's
play
right.
the
Don't
Raiders.
You don't play Carr.
Don't want to play Carr.
No.
But you can play Jones.
Yeah.
You can play him.
Rodgers.
You can play
You can beat
Burrow.
Rodgers.
San Francisco 7-2 against the spread. Their last 9 games. Cowboys 1-7 against the spread in the month of January. Their last 8 January games, just 1-7 against the spread. Dallas, 8 of their last 11 have gone under. San Francisco, their last 4 road playoff games have gone under as well. The total there is 51. Head-to-head between the 49ers and Cowboys, the road team has covered 4 of the last 5 meetings. That, of course, would be San Francisco. Elsewhere in the NFC, it's the Buccaneers minus 8.5 against the Eagles. Total in that one's 49. Bucs 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. Philadelphia, following a double-digit home loss, 2-11 against the spread. Their last 13. Their last 4 wild card games have gone under. Tampa, 5 of their last 6 against the NFC have gone under as well. And then the other NFC game is Monday night. Rams, 4-point favorite over the Cardinals. That total at 50. Rams, 4-2 against the spread their last 6 games. Cardinals, meanwhile, have not covered in their last 4 playoff games. Last 4 following a loss have gone under. Head-to-head, last 10 meetings between these two teams, Rams are 8-1-1 against the spread, taking on the Cardinals. Also, they've covered 3 of the last 5, going 3-1-1 against the spread, last 5 at home. The favorite, 8-2-1 against the spread, the last 11. All trends pointing towards the Rams, minus the 4 over the Cardinals.
I did love, video clips going around. Matthew Stafford's wife, his lovely wife, she also went to the University of Georgia.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. And she said, it was funny last week. She said there were so many 49ers fans took over SoFi Stadium that Matthew Stafford had to be on a silent count. That's how loud it was. And Jimmy Garoppolo was not on a silent count.
Wow.
But
that's how many 49ers. But I mean,
that was the fear, right, of pitting these teams in L.A. or pitting the team in taking Oakland to Las Vegas also, right?
I will
who's
bet
going
you,
to be their home fans?
I will bet you a fourth of that crowd in Arlington this weekend is Niners fans.
Yeah.
I will bet you they do. They will put a lot in there this weekend.
All right, we'll take a break here on the Odds Couple. When we come back, we'll look at the AFC matchups and then picks for the weekend.
Oh, and I'm going to tell you why Robert Fisher IV robbed me and jobbed me on last week's picks.
What'd you do?
I would do no such thing.
Robbed and jobbed.
We got a bone to pick
Sounds
with my
like
record.
Clyde Frazier over here.
Got a bone to pick with my record.
Okay, we'll check that out when we return. Can't wait to hear this one.
Damn right we will.
All right. It's the Odds Couple. We're back with more here on Grind City Media.
WynnBET, the official sportsbook partner of the Memphis Grizzlies, is Tennessee's premier digital sports betting app. They're bringing you the action of real money sports betting right in the palm of your hand with some of the best odds in the game. From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, they have what you need to win. Sign up today and use the promo code GRIZ400, GRIZZ 400, and after placing your first $5 wager, you'll receive $400 to bet with. There's no better way to enjoy basketball than with some extra winnings in your pocket to use for all your favorite bets. And be sure to check out the WynnBET Lounge at FedEx Forum the next time you're around to catch the Grizzlies. Betting is a team sport. Join the WynnBET team and bet with the best. Must be physically located in Tennessee and 21 years of age or older to participate. If you or someone you know needs assistance with a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Let's transition into our favorite all-time sixth man.
This one was fun to do.
Okay, let's go.
Number 1. Manu Ginobili.
There's like a move that he brought to the NBA that is still done today, the Euro step. Like,
there you
that's
go.
Manu. that without Manu, we have no Eurostep.
Join Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Ray Johnson, every Thursday as we debate the hottest topics in the NBA. IMHO on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and our social channels.
You know who you've got to get on and talk Rick and Morty? He could defeat any human being in Rick and Morty trivia. Anybody. I watched somebody give him trivia questions, and I'm talking like specific moments of specific episodes, and he just, bang. You know who it is? Jared Jackson Jr.
The Chris Vernon Show, live weekdays at noon on grindcitymedia.com or wherever you get your podcast.
Lincoln Riley will be the new head coach at USC.
So you're happy, you're excited.
I'm thrilled. I got the hat on. I'm ready to roll. USC is back.
It does put a lot of pressure on Lincoln Riley because now the expectations are you're not rebuilding. Not at all. No. Now it's, I would say, in my personal opinion, it's college football playoff in the next 2 to 3 years.
Rise and Grind with Jessica and Megan. Live daily at 8 a.m. on grindcitymedia.com. Welcome back to grindcitymedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum. Now, here's more of the Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker. Presented by WinBet.
Welcome to the dark, everybody. Send John Morant and your Memphis Grizzlies to the NBA All-Star Game. Vote daily on NBA.com, the NBA app, or via Twitter. You decide who gets to shine. Visit Grizzlies.com/All-Star today.
You merely adopted the dark.
Welcome to the dark.
I was born in it. Molded by it.
I think you got the wrong Grizzly.
Welcome back, everyone.
Still the dark.
It's the Odds Couple.
Welcome to it.
That's right. NFL playoffs getting underway this weekend, and here's a shocker. The Steelers, they're in. Steelers get in again. Things work out for the Steelers this past weekend. Just things kind of fell for them. Ben Roethlisberger's career not over yet. He's got another playoff game as they will visit the Kansas City Chiefs.
Shout out to Big Ben.
Shout out to Big Ben. Shout out to Mike Tomlin, who's never had a losing season.
And I don't think he's ever had a bad press conference either.
And has never had a bad press conference, including talking this past week about never counting out his QB.
Obviously, I'm appreciative of our quarterback, QB1. He's been smiling in the face of adversity for 18 years, and so even though it's not surprising, it's still appreciated. He's the same when everybody else gets funny. You know what I mean? Everybody else gets a little tight. He's the same guy.
Tight?
I love Mike Tomlin. Shout out to Mike Tomlin.
Steelers 12 and a half-point dog.
Here's the the best Ben Roethlisberger stat is, and I probably gave this last week on the show. Was I here last week?
Just do it again.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you were.
Was he?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Then I'll just do it again. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
wasn't memorable.
Yeah,
but I think he was here.
obviously wasn't memorable. But
physically or spiritually?
My favorite Ben Roethlisberger stat is in his 18 seasons as quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he has only had 2 starts where they have been out of playoff contention.
Wow.
Only 2 in 18 years.
You didn't give that last week.
No. Goated. Mike Tomlin, goated.
Pretty amazing.
Steelers. Go Steelers.
Kansas
I hope
City.
they beat the crap out of the Chiefs.
They won't.
But
No,
I
they're
hope
not
they
going
do.
to.
I hope they do.
Ben Roethlisberger today, it looks like he ate the Ben Roethlisberger from 19 years ago. He's a different quarterback than he was.
he is.
Kansas City has covered 6 of their last 8 games. Pittsburgh 3-7 against the spread. Their last 10 against the AFC West. 1-7 against the spread. Their last 8 following an ATS loss. Head-to-head, Chiefs have covered 5 of the last 7 games played at Arrowhead in Kansas City.
The truth is, the Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl if referees allow their secondary to hold everybody. They are.
I mean, you can say that for every team.
But they are notorious. They are like the biggest defenders around the league. It is known that they hold.
They're holders
all the time. That is what they do. And are the officials going to let them get away with it?
Well,
they did not let them get away with it in the Super Bowl last year. They called multiple defensive penalties on Kansas City early. Now, Oh, it changes everything about how you cover a team. It changes everything. They did not call them in the Super Bowl against the 49ers. If they don't call them, the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl. Might still be a little bit upset about that one.
If the weather's cold, they might have to put their hands down their pants.
I also think Patrick Mahomes should probably be in prison for putting ketchup on macaroni and cheese. So
Bengals are a 6-point favorite against the Raiders.
He
Bengals
also talks like a frog.
Bengals have covered 4 of their last 5.
It's not a prisonable offense, though.
Yeah, it is.
The favorite in this matchup's covered 4 of the last 5 as well. Bills a 4-point favorite at the Patriots. Bills have covered their last 4 games. 4 of the last 5 meetings in Buffalo between these two teams have gone under the total at 43. And then the other one, Chiefs Steelers, we already talked about. All right. First, before we get to our picks. Roser has a problem.
I got a beef.
Yeah.
With fish.
I got a beef.
What happened?
I feel like I'm caught in the middle
I
here.
specifically said last week, I said the Jets plus 16.5. I said we are buying that hook to 17. So that should be a push.
Oh, okay. I'll change that for you. I'm sorry. You did.
Well,
say
I had to make a big deal about it.
Well, I didn't know we could just buy points on our
change
picks.
it, yeah.
I said you
Who
had
you
to
paying?
buy that point.
That's
they
the
should have
roll
covered
with
that
Roser.
anyway. It was like that game was like 13-10 forever. I
Yeah,
was like,
it
I'm
was.
sitting pretty, and then they just.
I don't know how that happened.
And then I looked up and I was like, well, damn, they lost by 17.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's not a big deal. Cool. We can fix that
We
for you.
have to
We'll
make
fix
it a big deal.
We'll fix it. We'll fix
It's
it.
what
for
we
you.
do on the odds couple.
That's right. That's right. We do make a big deal.
It's like the real world. It's like Jersey Shore. We bring our problems to the public.
Roser's he's been doing math over here. Like there's
I've been
2 pages just
coloring. Yeah,
scroll,
I did some math.
like
So my record through these last 3 seasons in the regular season has been 55.75%. That should go up if we're doing a 165, 130.
It's like a beautiful mind
Be like
over
a
here.
56%. I'm like, Einstein was left-handed like I am.
Remember the scene in The Hangover where he comes down the escalator and he's doing the Rain Man and you see
Right.
all the numbers? Like that's what I feel like.
That's what Roser's doing right now.
I'm Bradley Cooper in there.
All right. Time for picks.
Flipping off the cameras.
Thanks.
All right. I'll go ahead and get started.
You go.
My 5, we'll start with the Cincinnati Bengals minus the 5.5 against the Raiders. Bengals have covered the last 5 meetings with the Raiders, including the last 6 played in Cincinnati. Take the Bengals. Bills
Is
minus
it Bengals or Bengals?
Bengals. I'm going
I thought
Bengals.
Susanna Hoffs was the
She
Bengals.
was in the Bengals.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. And she had those eyes where she just kind of
She did, yeah.
did that move. And it was unbelievable. If you're watching this, you just
Susanna.
saw the move.
Oh. I thought you meant if she was watching this.
If you're watching, Susanna, love the move. Bills minus 4 against the Patriots. I'm going with
That's
Buffalo. Buffalo 6-1-1 against the spread their last 8 against the AFC East. I'm going with the 49ers plus the 3.5 in Dallas against the Cowboys.
love you, Fish.
Thanks,
I
buddy.
love you. I still hate these two.
That's
jerks.
right. I understand. San Francisco has covered their last 7 January games. How about that?
I don't feel good about it. But,
Chiefs minus the 12 against the Steelers. Chiefs have covered 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two at home. Chiefs also have covered their last 4 as a home favorite. And then I'm taking the Rams and the Cardinals under the 50 points. Last 4 games for Arizona following the loss have gone under. Rams, 4 of their last 5 at home have gone under as well. I'll go under the 50. Rams and Cardinals, 3rd time these two teams meet. So there you go. There's the Fish's 5 this week. Lang, what you got?
Well, I got home Sunday night and I thought, well, just to make this fun, I'll put some money on the Cowboys against the Eagles.
Sure.
And they blew them out.
Yeah.
I took that money, I rolled it over, I put it on the national championship game, put it on the Dogs. So the Cowboys helped me cash in on the national championship game. So I'm rolling with the Cowboys again this week. Sorry, Rose.
Are we rolling over?
No.
Oh, okay.
I cashed that in.
Okay.
But I'm sticking with the Cowboys against the Cowboys against the 49ers. I'm looking at the other teams here. I had the Cardinals. I really don't like any of these games. And Roser and I talked about this earlier. I don't want to pick. You're kind of forced to pick these games.
Right.
There's nothing else going on. I don't think these games should count against our record this week.
Oh.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's just see how we do first.
I agree. Yeah. If we do well, we'll count them. If we don't do well, we're not going to count it.
I took the Buccaneers.
This is a potential mulligan week.
We'll count
We're
these as
mulligan.
separate NFL playoff picks.
Yeah. Playoff picks. They get their own category. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, like an asterisk.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like Barry Bonds.
Buccaneers over the Eagles because the Eagles stink. Cowboys over the Niners. Pats over the Bills. Chiefs, Cardinals, whatever.
All right.
CJ.
I got a bone to pick also. Last week,
a lot
Rob,
of bones this week.
Yeah.
I changed my Eagles +7 to Eagles Cowboys under whatever it was, like 40-something. They went well over that, but I would like the record to reflect that I didn't take the Eagles +7. Please, good sir.
He still got it wrong.
I got it wrong, but I want the right one that got wrong.
He wants the right wrong.
It was under what?
Under like 43.5. They would have had like 50-something.
You're gonna lose more GCUs if you do that.
You want to keep right where you're at.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, you might want to keep that.
Then. We're fine.
Because that game hit like 90. That game hit like 90 points.
They were ridiculous, man. That is why I'm sitting today.
Rayman over here he figured it out.
That's right.
That's why I'm sitting today. I'm trying to get this bad juju off. This is Jackson State curse.
Okay.
Ever since giving y'all Jackson State, I've been horrible on these picks. I've got my Lucky Grizz gaming sweater on, and I've switched up how I make the picks.
No workplace slay?
No workplace slay. I didn't know. No research. Just bow. Just look at them make the pick, man. Because I'm overthinking this thing, I think.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens, right? So give me Patriots +4, Eagles +8.5 because I think the line is too high. Chiefs -12, Cardinals +4, Cowboys -3.5. Let's see if that works. Get some of this ick off me.
All right. Roser, what do you got this week?
Well, because of these two jerks that I'm sandwiched between right now, I decided to bet with go with my heart and not my head. And my heart tells me we're taking the 49ers +0.5 point in the first quarter. We're taking the 49ers +2.5 in the first half. We'll take the 49ers +3.5 for the game. We'll take the 49ers on the money line. And we'll take the 49ers over 23.5 points.
I like your first half bets because the Cowboys are notorious for starting slow. They just are. They get well behind, and then they have to come roaring back. And I think what will end up happening is they'll come back and overtake the 49ers. But I like the 49ers being up at halftime and in the first quarter.
Says the guy who went 0-5 last week. Right? I feel freaking amazing now. I feel amazing. Thanks, CJ.
Roser did send picks before he got pissed off at me and CJ and changed it to all 49ers.
All 49ers.
So maybe those could be like your secondary picks.
Well, unless they don't hit either.
Yeah, that's right.
And then let's see here. I've got what were the original ones I gave you? Oh, the original ones were Bills -3 first half. Bills -4, Eagles +8.5. If that tells you how much I hate the games this week, and I have the freaking Eagles on here, and they suck.
They are.
The Chiefs -13, which is now I swept, and then the Raiders +5.5 because the Raiders seemingly played nothing but 3-point games.
Yeah.
It was why I did the Steelers +5.5 last week. I'm like, okay, it's Ravens Steelers. This is a 3-point game, right?
Yeah, and it was right there. All right, well there you go. There are our picks. And
picks.
How about
a single on fish?
And how about the confidence that we showed in our picks this week?
Yeah,
very
tons
good.
of it.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, it happens.
People
sometimes.
are running to the window to bet them or running to the app. And if you're running to the app, there's only one app to run to.
That's right. Which one? Which one's that?
The WinBet app. And you don't really have to run to it. You just scroll.
It's right there.
Yeah,
Just
you
click
just
on
scroll.
right in your hand.
Is there a bar we can go to place these bets?
There's a
There
WinBet
is.
sports bar. You can just get on your phone in the WinBet sports bar. Which freaking is it this one? Is it I don't know. What's up? WinBet sports bar. It's there. Go to it.
By the way, speaking of WinBet, little
Grizz.
shout out for WinBet. Every week
Shout
during the
out.
NFL season, they have like Ocho Cinco. They have I don't know who Claudia is, but Claudia.
I do.
Who's Claudia?
Really hot.
Well, yeah. But what does she? What does she do?
She does kind of like she does a daily show or a weekly show for WinBet out there in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, out
All
there
right,
at the
cool.
Win.
She gives like
awesome.
She gives like a parlay every week. Ocho Cinco gives like a parlay every week. Sometimes Tim Howard will be on there giving parlays every week. And those I play every one of them. And every week I've hit at least one of them that covers everything. So check out those parlays. They're kind of fun to play. Those are fun.
They're adding Shaq to the team also. That's why he sold his stake in the Kings franchise.
Yeah. Okay.
The Diesel.
All right. Yeah. So check out WinBet.
No more Sacramento.
Yeah.
The big Socrates.
That's right.
Yes.
Check out WinBet. Yes. WinBet. All right. That's going to do it for us here on the Odds Couple this week. Thanks for joining us here in Week 21. As we are now into the NFL playoffs. We'll talk more NFL playoffs next week on the program. Hopefully we will be even more confident in our picks for next week as well. That'll do it for us. Thank you, Kimball. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Jacob. For CJ, Roser, Lang, I'm Fish. Thanks for joining us this week here on the Odds Couple. We'll talk to you again next week right here on Grind City Media.
You've been listening to The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet on GrindCityMedia.com. Tune in next week with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.